Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Well, as you can see in front of you, this is the Flex Innovation RV-8 60E G2. Let's take it out the field and get you a series of flights. Now, if all goes well, Lord willing the creek don't rise, I'm going to get you 3 flights. One with just a 5,000 6S in her. The second one will be with a 4,000 6S. And then the third one will be with another 5,000, but also with a 3S battery to run the lights like you see here. And then we'll do kind of a comparison, try to fly the same way each time, and then get you a battery report afterwards. And then when we get all done flying, we'll come back here in the same room just like this, and I'll give you an after report about how the the aspects of the plane, how she flew, how the Aura 8 system works, and everything about the plane and just my take on it. So stay tuned. I'll meet you at the field. Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, going to take up the RV-8 60E G2 from Flex Innovations. Right, left, up, down, right, left. 5.5 minutes, got an HRB 5000 6S. Wind is coming out that way. So directly cross runway. Great ground handling. Go ahead and get her out here in the grass. I haven't flown this thing in a little while. All right.
Takeoff flaps.
Yeah, we don't need takeoff flaps.
Flaps are up.
We don't need no stinking flaps. No flaps. All right, here we go. Remember, you don't have rates. The Aurora system handles all that.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
But you do have to do trim though. Trim is still your responsibility. Very little inverted or elevator pressure needed to maintain inverted. Yeah. Definitely more than enough power to hang on its prop. This is the joy of a large plane. Easy to see. Knife edge. That's me doing that.
Sport mode. Advanced sport mode. Crew is on.
All right, now let's land it. I mean, the plane will literally float. She actually flies so well, she'll give you a false sense of security. This is another one of them planes I just have to resist the urge to want to bring it. Otherwise, I just bring it all the time. That's coming in with a crow into the wind. There. And just set her down pretty as you please.
Crew is off.
All right.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Gonna flip it. Just an absolute beast of a plane. Absolute beast.
Sport mode.
All right, now we're going sport mode, which is designed for more fast speed, but still very manageable. And this is where I'd use flaps for landing.
Landing flaps. Time remaining 2 minutes. Flaps are up.
All right, take it out.
Advanced sport mode.
All right. Put the crow back in.
Crew is on.
Again, we'll talk about all the flights back in the shop. Go over all the rates and all the different settings and everything involved with the plane. Next flight, we'll wait for the sun to go down a little bit, and we'll turn on all the pretty lights. All the pretty lights. Just a big, beautiful beast. All right, turn the crow back off.
Crew is off.
Let's see how much more time we got. We got more? Do we got more? Hey, we still got a minute. Come on now. Still got a minute.
1 minute.
Yeah. Love flying this plane. I'm telling you folks, this right here,
30 seconds. Crew is off. Crew is on.
Flex makes a good plane. Now they have the same, all the manufacturers have their drawbacks and problems, but this right here is definitely a winner. Alrighty. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
10.
And folks, that's not even the 3D mode. That's in the sport mode. I want to show you something real quick. Turn it around. Alright. That's the crow.
Crew is off. Crew is
Turn the crow on, that's crow.
Crew is off.
Alright.
Slow speed 3D.
Now this is sport mode. I'm sorry.
Sport mode.
This is sport mode. This is your regular beginner mode. Okay. Intermediate mode.
Advanced sport mode.
This is advanced sport mode or intermediate mode. And then
Slow
this
speed 3D mode.
is for 3D. You can see how much movement you've got.
Advanced sport mode.
I usually fly in the middle of advanced sport mode. That way I can do a little bit of everything.
Motor is off.
All right,
Safe to approach.
we have 5 seconds left on a 5-minute timer. Let's see how much is left in the tank. This big of a plane, early, approach from the rear. Don't come at the plane from the front. Because if you accidentally didn't have the throttle cut on and you hit it with your foot or something, and now you're going to the hospital and explain why you cut 2 of your fingers off with your toy, kind of embarrassing. Throttle cut always. 50%. Oh, come on, we'll go up again for another minute. Go up again for another minute. Still got 50%. Half that battery's still there. Can't just waste that juice. I paid my power bill this month. Take her up a little bit more, just a little bit more. But we're gonna leave the timer at 5 seconds, so that we'll see just how much. Honestly, you probably could set your timer for 7 minutes and not have an issue. Maybe even 8 minutes. But I do have a cross breeze, so really it doesn't matter which way I take off. All right.
Your fun is over. Land the plane now.
Nope. There. Yeah, very little pressure needed on down elevator.
Crow is on.
Now, fly around with that crow on. The less throttle you give, the more the crow is pronounced. So, the slower you go, and the more it holds you in the air. This plane literally can like almost float. Especially you put her into the wind.
Advanced sport mode.
All right. All right.
1 minute.
Let's go ahead and land it. But look how slow, into the wind, look how slow that plane's flying. I mean, really, what's holding her in the air? You know, gravity's supposed to work, you know? Usually I leave it in advanced sport mode and never take it out of that. Watch the crow and leave the crow on. All right, look at that crow. That's crow, no throttle. The more I give throttle, see how the crow disappears? It's like proportional flap. Let's go up here and do a tail slide. All right, over here, another tail slide. Well, we got a full-size helicopter coming, so I need to land. He's low.
Minus 2 minutes.
All right, full 7 minutes now. Full 7 minutes.
Motor is off. Safe to approach.
Approach from the rear, this big of a plane. Approach from the rear. 7 minutes exactly. And I flew her pretty hard. Very little coasting. 34%, perfect. Anywhere from 20 to 35% in that area there is a good storage rate. Prop is off. And folks, that is the Flex Innovation G2 60E G2 RV-8. On a good day, I'm 5'10" or 5'9.5". I was 5'10" I was 16. I'm probably 5'9" now. But gives you an idea of the size of this plane. Big plane. You're not going to put this in the back of a Honda, okay? No. Wings come off, one nice screw quick connect, wing spar goes through, one ribbon connector and one light connector, and you're done. And that's easy. All right, next flight, we're going to let the sun go down a little bit. We're going to turn all the lights on, and we're going to light up the sky with this big, beautiful, my big blue night. Folks, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video coming up here and right now. Well, hey folks, all right, second flight of the day, we're going to take up the Flex G260E G2. I'm going to fly her in a 4000. I've never flown her in 4000 6S before, and I got a little bit further forward, and she seemed to check out CG wise, so we're going to give it a shot. But earlier on a 5000, I could have flown for 7 minutes and still had time, so I'm going to leave my timer at 5.5 with this one. All right, Sokokin 6S with a 4000. I think it's got a 60C discharge. Right into the wind too. All right. Next flight in a little bit will be with, actually turn the lights on. We're waiting for that sun to go down a little bit, cool off. Yep, plenty of power. Just an absolutely
Crew is on.
phenomenal flying plane. The only thing you're responsible for doing, other than of course the assembly,
Time remaining 5 minutes.
but the only thing you do setting wise is make sure your CG's right and trim. You don't do any kind of throws or rates or anything like that. The Aurora system, if I'm saying it right, handles all that for you. That's me. Little knife edge here. What a fun plane.
Remaining 4 minutes.
Man, it's a fun plane to fly. Love the wind with it. Man, yeah. This is a fun plane to be in the wind. Look at that. I'm literally flying backwards now. Well, if you wonder why this plane is a better part of $800, well, this is why. The engineering that goes into this, the quality of the parts, and the reputation for just a good flying plane. Well deserved. I mean, we're just kind of scooter pooting along here. Of course, it's got the power if you want it.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
What a fun plane. What an absolute blast to fly.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
All right, let's go ahead and land it. Do a couple of touch and goes. Still got the crow on. She doesn't want to come out of the sky though. A little tap and go there. You ever heard the expression, point and shoot? Well, that's what this plane is. You point it where you want it to go and it just does it. It knows what you want to do before you know. Very intuitive plane. And you definitely want to have a good rudder discipline with it.
1 minute.
I mean, come on. That is gorgeous. Yeah, definitely want to be on your rudder game here. I just want to get up on the runway there.
Motor is off. Safe to approach. Crew is off.
See, folks, if I didn't have to worry about all my other planes I need to show and review, I'd probably be flying this all the time. It is such a blast. Such a blast. All right, we still had 34 seconds on a 5.5 minute timer, so 5 minutes we flew. We're not worried about the 4 seconds. Approach from behind. I don't like the fact the latch is in the front, but I guess they knew what they were doing. They made such a nice plane. And 48%, so I'm happy with that. I've got the battery at the very end of the, almost the end. I've left the straps in the factory settings, factory positions. So if you look at the strap, the back strap I'm not using, and I'm in the middle of a 4000 on that front strap. And she seems to CG really well right there. Now, if I had the 5000, she'd be back the battery would be back a little bit further, and I'd be using the back strap on the very end of the battery, and that's where she'll CG just fine. Now, in my next flight, I'll actually have another battery, a 3300 3S, and both those batteries together are going to come back about another ½ inch more than that, because even more weight, because that 3-cell battery is going to run all the light system. We'll be doing that here in about 15-20 minutes. I want the plane to cool down some. Not that it'd probably be fine to fly it back to back from time to time, but this isn't a promotional plane. This wasn't given to me. This is 100% out of my back pocket, so kit gloves. Alrighty, folks, well, there you go. That was this nice little fun flight on a 4S 6000 in the Flex Innovation RV-8 60E G2. And this is Fat Guy Flies RC saying God is good, God bless y'all, and we'll catch you next time. Hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, last flight of the evening. We're going to take up the Flex Innovation 60E G2. Got the lights all turned on now. I really can't wait till it gets too much darker, because then the bugs will start taking quarts of blood away from us. So we're going to just have to do like it is now. Going to fly in the sport mode, the intermediate mode, where I got full spin, or full live wing as it's called. I got a separate 3S battery running the lights, because if you plug the light controller into the port on the battery, on your main drive battery, it'll only eat off of 3 of your cells, and you'll have a terribly unbalanced battery. So it only pulls from 3 cells. That's why you need a 3 cell. These lights actually draw a lot of juice. Got a 3300 just for that, for this flight. Timer set for 6 minutes. Let's go up, have some fun with this big, beautiful blue night beast. I wish it was a little bit darker. You could really see them lights, but I like the way them lights shine up on the tail there. Alrighty. Not really dark enough to really see them, but see them better than nothing. Here we go.
Crew is on.
Yeah, I really can't see lights that well. That's okay. It's just not dark enough. I chickened out. I was going to fly around upside down, but just not ready for it.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
A little bit of hovering there. You want to do that up high. You want to practice your hovering up high. That way you've got time to recover. Fell out of it. Man, you want to talk about fun plane, man.
Time remaining 4 minutes. Slow speed 3D mode. Sport mode.
Alright.
Slow speed 3D mode. Sport mode.
Alright. Just practicing my hovering a little bit. It's not always about show for the camera. Sometimes it's just about me practicing, having a little bit of fun too.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
That's one of my favorite things to do right here. Put her into the wind,
Advanced sport mode.
put her into the wind, and just kind of try to hold her in the wind.
Crew is off. Crew is on.
Oh yeah.
2 minutes.
Little slow knife edge there. Man, I love this plane. Man.
Time remaining 1 minute.
All right, we're gonna have to call it quits. I know, famous last words. We're
30 seconds.
gonna have to call it quits. Fly 5 more minutes. Call it quits. 10 more minutes.
20 seconds.
Gotta get a better greaser landing than that.
Your fun is over. Land the plane now.
Yes, ma'am. I don't want to land. I don't want to come down.
Motor is off. Safe to approach.
All right, 22 seconds over on a 6-minute timer. Now, each of these batteries, the main battery was at 97%. The 3S battery was at 98%. Because rarely do you ever get a battery actually at 100% fully charged. Approach the plane from behind. This prop here, this will cut your hand off easily. These lights actually generate a decent amount of heat. Okay? And the light controller is quite hot. Okay, you don't want to touch these lights. They generate some heat. I'm going to go ahead and take the batteries out. Alright, unplug the flight battery, and only the balance lead is what you use to run the lights. The 3S battery, after 6 minutes, has 71% left. So say you're going to come out here and fly 4 times, you could bring one of these charged and run your lights the entire time. Okay, on 6-minute flights. The main flight battery, however, 5000 6S with a 50C HRB brand, 45% left, so that's perfect. That is perfect. All right, well folks, that is the Flex Innovation RV-8 G2, 60E G2. One incredible flying. I call it my Blue Knight. And it has the original Potenza brand engine, not the their new one they're selling. I don't even know what it's called now. I don't remember now. But no, this is all stock. The only thing I've done to this plane is I gave her a clear coat, and that's worn off now. So, as you can see, on a good day, I'm 5'9". When I was 16, I was 5'10". So, Big plane, but big flies better because you can, maybe because you can see it better. All right, well, y'all have a good and God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, we'll see you in the man cave for a wrap-up flight or a wrap-up report, and we'll go over all about the flight and everything. And we'll see you there, and God bless y'all. Bye-bye. Well, hey, everybody. Wasn't that fun? Man, I tell you what, I absolutely adore this plane. I had so much fun with this plane. It's an absolute blast to fly. I mean, it really is. You just don't know how, I mean, I like this plane. Okay. Well, I like a lot of planes. Now, she's got terrible hanger rash. I mean, all these little white bits and everything is just hanger rash, her being moved and everything. The paint is a little on the weak side. It's water-based, so it does chip off pretty easy. But I do have a can of some color match paint that I won at, I think, Home Depot or Lowe's. And I just haven't gotten around to do that. But make sure you give yourself a couple of good clear coats, which is what I need to do once I touch it up. But anyways, in the first flight, I did a 5,000, flew around, had a great time, demonstrated the Crow, some of the sport capabilities, a little bit of my 3D flying. In the second flight, we flew with a 4S, a little bit the same kind of stuff, showing the Crow and the sport flying, showing how flaps work and this, and do some landing, some touch and goes. And then in the third flight, I flew like this with all the lights are on. It wasn't quite dark enough where you could really see, but now here, let me turn some of these lights out and you can really see, appreciate just how much this thing lights up. But anyways, yeah. And now with this configuration, I had a 5,000, but I also had an additional 3S battery, and I had that shoved all the way at the front. Let me, you approach the plane from the back. The plane goes, the lid is from the back, but with a 3S battery in there and the 5,000, I got that pretty much towards the rear of the battery bay where I'm using both of the straps to hold them in side by side. Okay, and that gets you good CG. I don't remember the numbers on the CG. All I know is if I put my 5,000 towards the end here next to this, next to the little pin that holds the battery tray in, I get good CG. I don't have a problem with her dipping, wanting to dive or wanting to rise on me. She seems to fly nice and level there, so I really don't know the numbers, to be honest with you. It'll be in the description of the video, but I don't, to tell you I don't know. You do not be tempted to run the lights off, because it runs off the balance lead. The lights run off the balance lead of the 3S battery, but don't be tempted to run them off the balance lead of your main drive battery, because they only suck juice on 3 cells. Because if you do, it will work. But when you get done flying, 3 of your cells of your 6 cell are going to be 25 to 35% lower than the other 3. So don't use that. Okay? And like I said, the 3S battery, it only hooks up to the balance lead. Okay, that's the only thing it hooks up to. The lights do. It's very simple. It's in the instructions on how to do it. But to show you a little bit about the plane, one of the nice things about the Aura 8 system is the only receiver I'm using is a Spectrum satellite receiver with the 2 antennas. I don't remember what it's actually called. It's the new generation. It's got the buy-in plug. It's got 2 antennas. It's just a satellite receiver. That's all I use to control this. So that plugs directly into the Aura 8 system. And the Aura 8 system controls everything else. The only thing you're responsible to do is to make sure she's trimmed, okay, and balanced. That's all you got to do. Rates, throws, everything is configured through the Aura 8 system, or Aurora, or I think it's Aura, A-U-R-A, Aura 8 system. Now, I've got the terminology wrong, but this is what I call sport mode, which is their beginner mode, which is only, let me turn the model around. And like I say, you have no control over the throws, okay, or how how much these things move, or the gyro. Okay, you can turn the gyro on and off, okay, if you wish. Now I can't get to my radio. Hold on. Like I say, we're not always all that spit and polish here on Fat Guy Flies RC. She's a big plane. All right. Let me make sure you can see it real quick. All right, let me turn the plane where it's butt in towards you there. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Yeah, okay. In their beginner mode, which is called high-speed sport mode, that you only have, that's your throws on your ailerons, that's your throws on your elevator, and you still have full throws on the rudder. Now in there, and also only the ailerons work. Now, and like I said, all this mixing is done through the Aura 8 system. You go to the middle or their intermediate mode,
Advanced sport mode.
and that's advanced sport mode. Now you have their what they call live wing, full live wing, okay, and that's the throws on that. You got a lot more throw on the elevator, and still 100% where it actually bangs either side of the elevator, okay, and then they got slow speed 3D, or they're slower, where you got maximum amount of throws, which I don't fly in this one that much. Full live wing, 100% of the elevator, and then 100% of the rudder. Now, the flap system works in all three modes. Okay.
Takeoff flaps. Advanced sport mode. Sport mode. Flaps are up.
But in sport mode only, the flaps work just as flaps and will not work with the ailerons. Okay. The other neat feature is that it has crow. Okay, the crow mode. Now, I don't want to put the prop on because this is a very dangerous plane as far as power. But as you, and I demonstrated it in one of the 3 videos, as you give it power, the crow will lessen. And then you ease off the throttle. This is throttle off. So if I was at full throttle, okay, that's how the wing would look like this if I was at full throttle. If I hadn't, and it does this as you get less throttle. So 0 throttle, you'll be at this. Full throttle, it'd be like that. And then it is proportionate through based on your throttle range, okay, your arc of throttle. And that's all controlled through the Aura system. Now, you'll need at least 8 channels on your receiver in order to enable everything. But other than that, she's actually, I think all you need, well, let's see, you've got to have the crow, turn the gyro on or off, which is on a switch. I don't ever use it. I don't ever turn it off. And, oh yeah, and that's the other thing. They have wind mitigation gyro that's on all the time, and it is tuned based upon what mode you're in, okay? So in sport mode, it's faster flying, so the rates are going to be a little more aggressive to get you flying through the air without so much correction, because your control surfaces are so big. And then when you slow down in the full live wing, then the correction's a little bit, how do you say it, less, because your control surfaces are, anyways, it's tuned to each, the best way to say it is tuned based upon what configuration you're in, the wind mitigation. It's like AS3X, or in the reflex world, their optimized mode for flying in wind. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Basically, it is tuned for each of those modes, and it's awesome. I mean, this thing is so, there's that phrase, locked in. And there again, you don't have to do any of that. So to tell you what my AS3X or my gyro gains are, I have no idea. You'll have to ask the Aura system. Now, you can go in there with a programming card and or a wire, or a USB cable, and hook up to the Aura system and change it around. But y'all saw me fly. I'm loving this thing. And it has as far as back to some features, the red, the green, and the regular landing light, they're on all the time anyways, whether you enable the rest of the LEDs at all. And you can buy the plane either this is the night version or in the regular version, and the regular version still has those 3 main lights. They're on all the time anyways. But yeah, there you go. Nice big robust landing gear. The plane is huge. It's not hard to transport. You take the hatch off, you got 2 big screws, Phillips head screwdriver, you pull them out, you got 1 ribbon cable, quick connect that connects to the wing, and then 1 JST plug for the lights. And if you had the regular plane, you wouldn't have that JST plug. There are only two drawbacks for me, in my opinion, of the plane. The only two cons are the paint is weak. It needs to be a stronger, a better quality paint. It's very bright and pretty, but it flakes very easily. And the other thing is the price. It's just, I mean, it's a $700-800 plane, so it's expensive. But it's very good on the battery. I mean, I have a 5,000 here, and I can run 7-8 minutes of hard flying. So, all right, well, folks, there you go. I can't really say anything else. I like to hold the plane up and show it to you, but she big. All right, well, folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this new format where I do an introduction, some videos, and then we come back and talk about it here in the man cave, but in the man garage this time because she's just too big in there. So, all right, God bless y'all. God's good. Don't forget the faith, family, and friends, and then RV-8 G2s. Bye-bye.